This movie tells a story about Mary, who just got out of prison for attempted murdering of her serial killer boyfriend. After a few weeks on the outside, Mary eventually finds a job at a 24-hour convenience store on the recommendation of her gruff parole officer. Her new job could be the start of a new chapter for a trauma victim like her, but Mary's episodes keep getting the best of her despite her meds and small support system. But as things start to unfold, it becomes clear that not everything she hallucinates is happening in her mind, and she is in for a rough first day on the job. Despite an interesting premise and the opportunity to tackle themes like trauma-inflicted mental illness and the act of being complicit under duress, this movie spins its wheels for much of its runtime. The movie relies heavily on Mary's delusions well after she realizes that her boyfriend is free to terrorize her and her friends. More often than not, this serves the sole purpose of tossing in cheap jump scares while the very real threat of death looms. And though we spend a lot of the film's runtime understanding Mary's past, we never get a single glimpse into the mind of the killer. What was their relationship like before? Were they happy? Or what's his motives? There are no answers for this stuff. The film also spins its wheels figuring out just what it wants to be. It cannot decide whether it wants to be a slasher, a commentary on abuse, a mystery, or a thriller. It feels like this movie is winging it as Mary runs up and down gas station rooms, not really sure what is chasing her. When we finally gather some direction, we spend a lot of time corralling our main players to the gas station washroom. Once the film begins to get lethal, horror audiences will be out of patience hunting for originality. There's no major problem with the characters apart from the killer boyfriend, aka the Rain Ripper, whose every moment on screen is rather eye-rollingly heavy-handed. It's a sign of another of this movie's weaknesses. Every scare is telegraphed and every emotional beat is megaphoned. This is not a subtle movie, which works when we're talking gore, but works less when the film's trying to build suspense. Most of the tension relies on the extremely dumb decisions of its characters. Mary seems sensible enough at first, but the only times her life seems to be in real danger are when she's done something extraordinarily foolish to warrant it. It's maddening, especially by the end, because it's such an endless litany of boneheaded choices. All of this standard setup only shifts up to an equally lackluster climax. Overall, there's nothing special about this movie at all.